Old pipes cause damage and disrupt traffic in Athens. West Virginia teachers head to the picket lines for the second time in a year. And in sports, the Ohio men's basketball team is on the road to face a nationally ranked opponent. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
I'm Steven Hernandez. Thanks for joining us. Drivers in Athens are being rerouted for the second straight week after incidents on College Street call for repairs. Newswatch reporter Katrina Kapranica is there with the story.
This is the second week that parts of College Street have been closed, causing a bit of frustration for Athens drivers.
I just think it's really inconvenient.
While many know their commute has been detoured, not many know why.
A couple days ago that there was a massive sinkhole type thing in the middle of the road, and I kind of just thought it was still that, but I don't know.
Now behind me is Cantner Hall, which houses the Ohio University School of Theater, but it's also the location of a sewage pipe that burst.
Last Thursday night, not this past Thursday, the Thursday before that, that Thursday, around 11 p.m., 10 p.m., the entire basement flooded with what we were then later told was sewage water from a problem that the city was having with a line outside of our building.
Athens Public Works Director Robert Healy says one of the challenges is the depth of the pipe, 16 feet below the bricks. But the problem is affecting more than just motorists. Grad student Ariel Lacey says the building had problems with mold before the pipe broke. Now it has only gotten worse.
The mold has gotten so bad that it's kind of infected multiple levels of the building. I'm up on the second floor, and yet almost everyone in our shop is still having respiratory issues. I myself had digestive issues for almost a week after, and have only stopped now that I've actually stopped drinking the water in our building.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Katrina Kapranica.
As for College Street, the road closing maintenance seems to be coming to an end. There are no more scheduled closings announced by the city. While the street is back to normal though, OU's Cantner Hall is still recovering. The building's basement is now without floor panels, with services such as the university's costume and craft shop, as well as a number of faculty offices now moved to the new temporary locations around campus. The rest of the building is still in use, but students and staff are warned to spend as little time downstairs as possible. And a major street is back open in Athens after closing due to a fire. Athens Fire Department responded to a fire on 27th North Court Street above the Insomnia Cookie Store. Officials say that the fire started from a dryer fire. The roadway was closed to traffic around 5:30 p.m. There were no injuries reported and no damage to the building structure. The Marietta Family YMCA is closing nearly all of its programs except for childcare. The Marietta Times reports the organization has been trying to sell the building for more than a year. The board chairman Rick Smith says there has been a steady decline in memberships. The board is now looking for a place to continue their childcare services. All other programs will end by March 31st. The Jackson County Municipal Court will be closed for the next 2 weeks. According to their Facebook page, the building was damaged by water from heavy rains. All scheduled cases will be rescheduled and notices sent in the mail. In the meantime, any fines or costs can be paid online at jmcourt.com. The Athens City School District has a timeline in place to build its new facilities. Now it wants input from the community. The district will hold a series of meetings to allow residents, parents, and other stakeholders to provide any comments on the project. 4 elementary schools in the district will hold their own meetings. The next public input meeting will be at East Elementary tomorrow from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Athens residents in the pilot composting program don't have to hand in their buckets just yet. Last night, City Council approved the proposed extension of the program. The program will continue into July, when a new contract is set to go into effect. It was originally supposed to end last month, but people in the program didn't want to stop composting for the few months before the permanent project and the permanent contract started. The City Council's Affordable Housing Commission has a new member, and he's a student from Ohio University. Zach Rises, an OU senior, was named to the commission last night to fill a vacancy through mid-June. As a home renter himself, he says he is looking forward to his first meeting with the committee to represent students and low-income renters in Athens.
Take the mission of representing people very seriously. I would love to take an active role in meeting with those constituencies, finding out what they'd like to see from the Affordable Housing Commission, and then bringing that into our meetings.
Rises will take Jacob Mitchell's position, who chose to step down due to scheduling conflicts.
From the Newswatch Weather Center, I'm Matt Thigpen. Currently in Athens, we're sitting at a nice 32 degrees, right at that freezing mark. We are dry for now, and we are seasonable, so this is the average for this time of the year, and we're seeing those northeast winds at 5 miles per hour. Bringing in some colder air right ahead of our next system. 30 in Newark, cloudy across much of the region. 31 in Chillicothe, 33 in Ironton, and our warmer spot down there in Ripley, 34 over there near the Ohio River, 31 in Marietta, and 30 in New Martinsville. We will see these temperatures moderate throughout the region, and as we head throughout the night, we're going to see these increasing clouds continue to build in across our region. A wintry mix early in the morning, east winds at 0 to 5 miles per hour, so that'll bring in more of that cold air, but we'll see those winds shift southerly and hope to bring us brief intermittent rain showers to wash out all the wintry precip that we might see later this tomorrow and into the evening hours, and we will get to that in my extended forecast. Stephen?
As always, thank you for the weather update. A state senator will pay $20,000 to settle a lawsuit over a Facebook post. One of Republican Ohio Senator John Euchre's constituents was blocked on his official Facebook page. Euchre doesn't admit guilt under the agreement, but he will pay damages and attorney fees. He also cannot block the plaintiff on the Facebook page again unless they threaten or harass the lawmaker. Education bill. This union leaders for teachers are celebrating a move by the West Virginia House of Delegates to effectively kill a complex education bill. This comes after schools were closed today because teachers were on strike. 3 unions representing teachers and school service workers say they'll meet with union members before deciding on further action. Teachers unions dislike components of the bill that would have created the state's first charter schools and allow education savings accounts for parents to pay for private school. Some West Virginia majors are asking the Senate to take up a bill to protect LGBT people from housing discrimination. 12 West Virginia majors signed a letter with the request. Senate Bill 391 would add sexual orientation and gender identity to the list of protected classes in the state's non-discrimination law. Charleston, Huntington, Morgantown, and the 9 other towns have passed ordinances barring such discrimination. One Ohio U.S. representative is leaving the option of running for president open. Democratic Representative Tim Ryan is still deciding if he will run or not.
No, I haven't decided. I'm concerned about what's going on, the economy, the workers, people are suffering, the country's really divided. And, I think maybe I could be one of the people who could maybe help, work with business and help workers as well get cut in on the deal.
Ryan has served as representative since 2003. While Ryan is still deciding, another Democrat has thrown their hat in the ring. Coming up, we'll have the latest presidential hopeful. Plus, a number of states are challenging President Trump's decision to declare a national emergency. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
Well, if you love TVC basketball action as much as we do, well then we got the show for you, Hardwood Heroes. Come along with us as we will be breaking down all the action every week. It airs Sundays at 11 p.m. and again Mondays at 6 p.m. But remember, our coverage isn't just limited to the show. We have content being posted all week long on our Twitter, Facebook, and even Snapchat. We'll also have written recaps posted on our webpage and video recaps on our YouTube channel. So check those out as well. And always remember to be heroic.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
President Donald Trump is criticizing a lawsuit he predicted would be coming. 16 states are challenging his national emergency declaration. The lawsuit, led by the California Attorney General, is the latest in a series of lawsuits over the same topic. Natasha Shen explains why these cases claim the president is violating the Constitution by going around Congress.
The states and organizations suing the Trump administration have one major argument. The Constitution says Congress is supposed to decide how taxpayer money is spent. But on Friday, President Trump declared an emergency at the southern border, tapping into various funding sources to build a wall.
If the president is essentially stealing money that's been allocated to go to the various states for various purposes, but no longer will, we're being harmed. Our people are being harmed.
California Attorney General Javier Becerra is leading a group of 16 states in a lawsuit filed Monday night. President Trump responded in the Oval Office Tuesday.
And I think we'll do very well. We have absolute right to do that. I have an absolute right to call national security. We need strong borders.
He predicted on Friday that he'd be sued in the Ninth Circuit.
And then we'll get another bad ruling, and then we'll end up in the Supreme Court, and hopefully we'll get a fair shake, and we'll win in the Supreme Court.
Legal experts say it might be difficult for plaintiffs to fight on the basis of the emergency declaration itself. The president has a wide discretion over what constitutes a national emergency. But a key question is whether the statute President Trump has invoked, which in this case requires the use of armed forces, can be used to fund the wall. In Washington, I'm Natasha Chen reporting.
The ACLU's National Security Project, the Center for Biological Diversity, and Border Network for Human Rights have also filed lawsuits. Meanwhile, the House Democrats may also put forward a joint resolution to terminate the emergency declaration. Senator Bernie Sanders is running for president once again. The Vermont senator and self-described Democratic socialist announced this morning that he will seek the Democratic presidential nomination in 2020. In 2016, he finished second to Hillary Clinton for the Democratic nomination. Analysts say Sanders is an early forerunner, but he also faces a more crowded field than he did in 2016. Including Sanders, 10 major Democrats have either announced their candidacy or formed exploratory committees. Next on Newswatch, a community comes together to support a cop recovering from an attack.
And after the break, we'll take a look at a wintry mess coming our way for the morning commute, flooding potential, and a weekend preview. But first, here's a look at stocks of local interest.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
Well, if you love TVC basketball action as much as we do, well then we got the show for you. Hardwood Heroes. Come along with us as we will be breaking down all the action every week. It airs Sundays at 11 p.m. and again Mondays at 6 p.m. But remember, our coverage isn't just limited to the show. We have content being posted all week long on our Twitter, Facebook, and even Snapchat. We also have written recaps posted on our webpage and video recaps on our YouTube channel. So check those out as well. And always remember to be heroic.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV's played Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
Some people in Nevada got a special gift on President's Day: snow. Some areas received snowfall overnight. People there, especially in the Anthem and Seven Hills areas, wasted no time getting their hands on the fresh powder. People who live in the Anthem area of Henderson say it's been years since they last dealt with this kind of dusting. Some were surprised by the snowfall, but say it was made all the more magical thanks to the clear conditions. Matt, are we getting some snow?
Yeah, we're going to have to watch this wintry mess headed our way for the morning commute. That's just mind-blowing. They can't think of Las Vegas. They hit 110 during the summer, and then they get snow. It's incredible. Yeah, we're going to talk about our flooding potential and a weekend preview in my extended forecast. Taking a look right now in Athens, we see 32 degrees. Dry for now. Seasonable conditions for this time of the year. Northeast winds at about 5 miles per hour. Taking a look across the region, we're seeing 30 degrees in New Lexington, 30 in Newark, 30 in New Martinsville, and down in Ironton and Jackson, we're seeing 33 degrees. Taking a look at our precipcast, this is what we want to focus on. By midnight tonight, we'll see that moisture start to creep in from Kentucky, and you can see it's rain for now because it's a little bit warmer down there. We're seeing about 36 degrees down here to Kentucky, but by 4 a.m. you see right here in Athens and our northern counties are starting to get into that transition zone of that ice and freezing rain. And that snowfall is going to be heavy right on this area. In Kansas, they're seeing thunder snow in those areas where that snow is the heaviest, so that could also be a potential for tonight. And taking a look by 8 a.m. as you're heading out there for the bus or heading in to work a little later if you want to call your boss and say, hey, I can't make it to work. It's a little slick out there. So we're going to see that ice start to taper off by 8 a.m. Taking a look at our hour by hour for that. 31 at 6 a.m. Again, heavy snow or mix if you're toward our south. And by 9 a.m. we start to see the warmer air engulf much of the region, 35 degrees and a wintry mix. So we'll see that transition between 9 a.m. to noontime by your lunchtime, 39 degrees. It'll be a cold rain, so it'll feel disgusting out is how I would describe it. And again, here's our snowfall estimates. So you see a wide swath. You see this 4 to 6 inches range in the purple, and then 3 to 5. You see there's a sharp gradient right there in our main counties. And as you head further south, you'll get into that much of that rain and ice accumulation. So because of all that snow, we'll see a glaze of ice, 2 to 4 inches of snow, and our main impact will be that morning commute. Once we get past that 9 a.m. time frame, you'll see that rain move in, and it'll warm up with those temperatures. Now with our highs, we'll see 46 here in Athens as that warm front and system moves closer, 48 down in Ironton, and we'll even warm up to our northern counties, 42 degrees. So speaking of that flooding potential, you see the wide swath of rainfall, 1 to 2 inches of rain across much of our region. So what does that prompt? That prompts a flood watch from the National Weather Service in Charleston, 1 to 2 inches of rain, heavy rainfall on Wednesday. We got to watch those low-lying areas like we have been throughout the past couple weeks even. For tonight, 30 degrees, increasing clouds. That wintry mix starts early, about 4 a.m., continues to about 10 a.m., and we'll see that taper into rain. Looking at our extended forecast, we dry out for Thursday, 50 degrees, 47 on Friday. We see a little bit mix of Rain move in through the evening hours. Saturday and Sunday looks wet, so plan for something indoors this weekend. Steven?
Thanks for the update, Matt. Community support is pouring in for an Ohio deputy who was set on fire by a felony suspect. Sergeant Jim Ackland suffered third-degree burns while trying to serve warrants to the suspect in Portage County last week. As Jordan Vanderburg reports, some of the support is coming from a volunteer who worked with Ackland in the past.
Met through their shared call to serve more than self, but above all else, they have a shared respect. Sergeant Jim Ackland and Will Rush are both in public service. Different blankets, sure, but cut from the same cloth.
As the sheriff said, he's not a limelight person or whatnot, but when it comes to doing what it is that he does, he's extremely good at it.
Rush, who heads up the Big Creek search dog team, met Sergeant Ackland through a case. Ackland was enamored, eventually joining the volunteer-led group and certifying his own dog.
Because they always thanked us for what we do, and I said, you know, there's a big difference between what we do and what you guys do in the law enforcement, and that is at the end of a search, we know we're coming home. On any given day, you guys don't, and fortunately he came home, but not the way that he left home, and that was my biggest concern.
A man with a felony warrant brought the Portage County Sheriff's Sergeant to a home in Rootstown Township on Thursday. That's when authorities say Jay Bannon set the longtime officer on fire, causing third-degree burns to nearly 30% of his body. It was a difficult call to take.
Is he going to make it? What's the recovery going to be like?
Let alone reckon with.
He's just a fantastic person. His wife's an absolute sweetheart, and thank God he's alive.
The Portage County Sheriff says Sergeant Ackland is in good spirits, but just like a dog following his scent, Rush sprang into action and started fundraising for his injured friend. Thousands of dollars have been raised for Sergeant Ackland's care as he begins his recovery and inches closer to retirement.
You go through this many years and then this close to retirement, something like this happens. Doesn't really seem fair for everything that he has given to, you know, to not only to his community and his department, but, you know, his work with volunteer search and rescue and everything else. You know, it's not fair to somebody like that to have to go through this.
A GoFundMe page created by Rush has raised more than $5,000 for Sergeant Ackland. He's making progress in his recovery, according to Portage County Sheriff. The suspect, who was arrested after the incident, is now facing attempted murder charges in addition to the previous charges.
Hello everybody, I'm Brian Kerp. Spring is near. The Ohio football team released their spring schedule. Find out more details later on. Then right after the break, the Ohio men's basketball team hits the road to the Empire State to face Buffalo. A preview of the game is coming up next on Newswatch.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
Well, if you love TVC basketball action as much as we do, well then we got the show for you. Hardwood Heroes. Come along with us as we will be breaking down all the action every week. It airs Sundays at 11 p.m. and again Mondays at 6 p.m. But remember, our coverage isn't just limited to the show. We have content being posted all week long on our Twitter, Facebook, and even Snapchat. We will also have written recaps posted on our webpage and video recaps on our YouTube channel. So check those out as well. And always remember to be heroic.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. and thank you.
Welcome back, I'm Brian Kerp. The Ohio men's basketball team has a huge task ahead of them tonight. They are on the road at Buffalo and will tip off against the Bulls at the top of the hour. The Bulls are currently 22-3 with a 10-2 conference record. They are also ranked 25th in the AP poll. The Bulls are averaging 85 points per game. A player to look out for is CJ Massenberg, one of the best players in the country. He averages 18 points per game. Nick Perkins and Jeremy Harris also average double figures for the Bulls. This game is Ohio's first game against a ranked conference opponent since 1996.
A chance for us to go out there and measure ourselves against a top 25 team. It speaks volumes to our league that they're able to maintain that ranking through conference play, and even with a couple losses, they still get the respect of being ranked.
There was a men's basketball player named the Ohio Scholar Athlete of the Week. A member of the track and field team was also named. We start with ladies. Emma Deering, the female Scholar Athlete of the Week, is a distance runner for the Bobcats. Last Friday, Deering broke the school record for the 600-meter run with a time of 1 minute and 33 seconds. Yeah, that's pretty fast. Ben Vanderplas was named the male Scholar Athlete of the Week. Last Saturday, Vanderplas scored a career-high 24 points in a Bobcats game against Central Michigan.
Yeah, it was just a great confidence boost to go out there and just play basketball the way I know I can play it, and just to go out there, hit some shots, and just have fun again. Seeing shots go in is always a great feeling, just a great confidence boost. So to have those fall during the game were pretty big for me.
Now over to women's basketball. If you want to see the Bobcats play, you're going to have to wait until Saturday. The Bobcats are currently on a much-needed week off before traveling to Kent State.
We could use this kind of time to decompress and kind of get back to focusing on some things and talk about where we're at and where we need to be. And you know, we're very close to where we need to be, and so it's just going to take just a couple things that we need to fine-tune. And I think the kids seem to be buying into that approach.
We now shift from the basketball court to the football field. Spring football is right around the corner, and the Ohio football team released their spring schedule yesterday. The Bobcats opened practice on Monday, March 4th. They will have a total of 15 practices over a span of 41 days this spring. The annual spring game will conclude spring workouts. The game will be held on Saturday, April 13th at 2 p.m. from inside Peden Stadium. The Bobcats returned 3 All-MAC players, including Nathan Rourke, defensive back Javon Hagan, and punter Michael Farkas. Now on to the NHL, the Columbus Blue Jackets welcomed the first-place Tampa Bay Lightning to Nationwide Arena last night. We picked things up in the first period. Yanni Gurde finds Nikita Kucherov for the goal. Kucherov had a big night. He tallied 5 points for the Lightning. And a few minutes later, he gets the outlet pass and uses a nice backhand to light up the lamp. The Lightning took as large as a 5-0 lead and defeated the Blue Jackets 5-1. The Jackets are now tied with the Pittsburgh Penguins for third place in the Metropolitan Division. I'm Brian Kerp, and that's all I have for sports. Back to you, Stephen.
Thanks. Now we're taking a look at the flood watch for this evening and going into tomorrow. Heavy rainfall on Wednesday. 1 to 2 inches of rain will have that snow melt after the morning. Again, the main impact is the Monday morning commute. Taking a look at our extended forecast. 50 on Thursday. After that wintry mix moves out of our region. Should end by 10 a.m. on Wednesday and transition into rain throughout much of the day. So that's why we had that flood watch, and we'll dry out for Thursday. But if you're heading out to anywhere on this weekend, 60 degrees. We warm up nicely, 57 on Sunday. But again, we're going to see that rainfall throughout much of this weekend and then more flooding potential. Stephen?
Thanks, Matt. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Stephen Hernandez. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.